the heart of Shanghai, there was an old apartment building where an eerie urban legend was whispered among the residents. It was believed that only those who harbored dark secrets would be visited by sinister spirits. Ling, a young animator, moved into the building, drawn by the charm of the old architecture and affordable rent. She was skeptical of the legend, dismissing it as nothing more than a tall tale. One night, as Ling was sketching the latest episode of her comic, she heard a faint knocking at her door. Startled, she glanced at the clock. It was midnight. Ling hesitated, then cautiously approached the door. As she looked through the peephole, she saw no one in the dimly lit hallway. Thinking it must have been her imagination, Ling returned to her desk. But as soon as she picked up her pen, the knocking resumed. This time it was louder and more persistent. Ling's heart raced, but she mustered the courage to open the door. Again, there was no one there. Ling slammed the door shut, her heart pounding. She tried to convince herself that it was just the wind. As the nights went on, Ling's fear intensified, and she began to question her own innocence. Guilt-ridden, she recalled an incident from her past, a bitter rivalry with a fellow artist that ended with Ling plagiarizing her competitor's work, ruining her rival's career. Ling had never confessed or made amends, and now the ghost seemed to be haunting her for her misdeeds. Shaken and terrified, she decided to seek refuge under her blanket in bed, hoping that the knocking would stop and the ghostly presence would leave her alone. The knocking intensified, echoing through the room like the heartbeat of a monstrous creature. She clung to her blanket, her entire body shaking with fear. After what felt like an eternity, the knocking stopped, replaced by an eerie silence. Ling's heart pounded in her chest as she wondered if it was finally safe to check. Mustering her courage, she slowly lifted the edge of the blanket, peering out into the darkness. The room was seemingly empty, the ghostly presence gone. Just as she pulled the blanket away from her face, a terrifying ghost appeared before her, its eyes burning with anger, and its mouth twisted into a sinister snarl. Ling's scream was cut short, and the room plunged into darkness. The next morning, the apartment was found completely empty. Ling had vanished without a trace, her belongings gone as if she had never been there. The only thing left was a crumpled blanket on the floor, a chilling reminder of the horror that had transpired within those walls. The apartment was sealed off, but the whispers of the legend grew stronger. Before long, the space was put up for rent once again, and new tenants moved in, unaware of the chilling history that lay within its walls. In the darkness of the night, the knocking could still be heard, a terrifying reminder that no secret could escape the wrath of the vengeful spirit.